Take it down. Take it all down. Around 6 p.m. on June 2nd, hundreds of migrant workers gathered at the entrance of Yangyong Village in Guangdong. They were protesting because the village had set up gates and started charging fees at the entrance. People were angry. Some said it felt like robbery. The crowd grew quickly and emotions ran high. The police showed up too. In the past, bandits would claim land and demand money from anyone passing through. Now it's called village gating. Villages put up barriers and charge drivers illegal fees, basically the same as robbery but with a nicer name. How long has this been going on? They're still charging 18 yuan.
This is just robbery.
Several protesters said they're already struggling with low incomes and high living costs. Most are migrant workers from other provinces. With the job market so tough, they can barely make ends meet. Adding a monthly parking fee was just too much, so when the policy was enforced, people reacted strongly and pushed back. The protest lasted until about 10 p.m. Eventually, the local authorities gave in and agreed to take down the fee stations. In a video, someone is seen using tools to dismantle the gate while others clapped and cheered. People shouted, "Good, good." Another video showed that traffic flowed freely after the gates were removed. Yang Ming, a business owner from Henan who used to live in the village, told reporters that the fee system actually started as a trial last October. Visitors had to pay 3 yuan per hour to park, or 240 yuan per month. He said back then, the villagers didn't seem to realize what was going on. Yang Ming went back to Henan before October. He said it's actually getting harder to make money in Dongguan. Many factories have closed, laid off workers, or cut salaries. His own business is struggling. Half of the migrant workers in Yangyong Village have already left. The population has clearly dropped. He said many villages in Dongguan are charging these fees because a company took over the project. He heard this company has a strong backing in the government. Village committees get a cut of the profit, and it's no problem for the village chief to earn tens of thousands of yuan a year from this, but the villagers don't get a cent. A man named Mr. Li, who lives in the village, said things are tough for everyone right now. Nobody's making money. And on top of that, the village is still charging fees. That's why everyone came out to protest. Back in March, a video showed cars in Yangyong Village with a notice posted on them. The notice said the village would begin trial operations of a parking management system starting March 15, 2025. The notice claimed the purpose was to improve traffic control and make the village look better. It told residents, companies, and businesses to follow the new parking rules and suggested they follow a WeChat account called Zhuli Smart Parking to apply for monthly parking cards. The notice also included a phone number for the Yang Parking Management Center and showed a sign including the fee schedule. Another video showed the roads in Yangyong Village being fenced off to collect parking fees. A user joked, "Has Yangyong gone broke? Starting tomorrow, they're putting up barriers and charging for parking." This isn't the first time people in Guangdong have protested village gate fees. On the night of March 9th, in Shangdi Village in Liaobu Town, Dongguan, villagers also became upset when barriers were set up and parking fees were introduced. Crowds of people gathered at one of the checkpoints. Some villagers broke the barriers and threw them onto the side of the road. Online, people said the police eventually sent dozens of officers to bring the situation under control. Many people online pointed out that this problem is widespread in Guangdong. In many villages, each entrance has a toll gate. Some roads aren't even a kilometer long but have multiple barriers charging fees. Tenants from outside the area complained that even after paying rent, they still had to pay toll fees just to come and go. One person said, "It's already hard enough for us outsiders to make a living here. After paying rent, water, and electricity, there's barely anything left. Now with these village tolls, it's just too much. That's why so many people came out to protest. Are they really trying to force outsiders out of here?" Another user commented, "We only expected to see toll booths on highways, but now Shangdi Village wants outside cars to pay monthly parking fees. No wonder people are angry. It's making life harder for workers." According to public records, the idea of village tolls in Dongguan started gaining attention in 2021. From June to July of that year, some villages and communities began putting up barriers for parking control. This led to a lot of complaints and pushback. People started reporting these issues to local authorities, and it eventually became a hot topic online. By August 5, 2021, out of Dongguan's 596 villages and communities, 194 had already installed gated systems. Of those, 124 were charging fees. Many of the gates were built on public roads, violating rules by occupying 51 rural roads and 249 village roads, covering nearly 270 kilometers. In 2021, Dongguan's Transportation Bureau once ordered a stop to village tolls. But in February 2022, a new guideline was introduced. It allowed villages and communities to charge parking fees again. By January 2024, villages in areas like Dongcheng, Nancheng, and Liaobu had restarted the toll systems, especially targeting cars from outside and migrant residents. The fee structure was, the first 30 minutes were free, 3 yuan per hour after that, with a daily cap of 30 yuan. A monthly parking pass cost 200 yuan. According to Southern Metropolis Daily, many villages and towns like Qingxi, Chashan, Wangjiang, Dongcheng, and Humen started reintroducing these gated systems from the second half of 2024 to the first half of 2025. Then, just 2 days after the Dongguan city government announced its March 7, 2025 work report that it would gradually phase out these fees, people in Yangyong Village came out in large numbers to fight for their rights. Many questioned whether these fees were just a way for local governments to make up for budget shortfalls. Some villagers warned that if the government kept ignoring people's struggles and continued charging random fees, it would cause serious unrest. As one person put it, a single spark can start a prairie fire. People online also spoke up. In these past few years, almost every urban village has put up full toll systems. You can't leave without paying. There are also monthly and annual passes. Another user said, the Communist Party has run out of money, so now they're squeezing everyone dry. Everything is being taxed. Even parking lots are a source of daily income. Of course the party wouldn't let that go. Some people called for resistance. Yes, we need to resist if we want our rights. If we pick up weapons, things change fast. China has entered a new era, an era of non-cooperation. When will people across China unite? Breaking through the information barrier is key. People in China are organizing now. If pushed too far, it won't be easy to contain. Former Chinese journalist Zhao Lanxian believes the pressure cooker is about to blow. He says more large-scale protests will break out across China. People online revealed that the local village committee had handed over all parking spots in the village to a private contractor, who then set up checkpoints and started charging fees. Residents felt the prices were too high, and even cars that had already parked there were being told to pay retroactively. A crowd of angry residents stood in front of the local police station, and one man smashed a toll booth. In the end, an official from Xintang town came out and announced the cancellation of the fees. Only then did the crowd disperse. He explained that what happened in Guangdong shows a major shift in people's attitudes. Instead of quietly putting up with it, people are taking action. This could be the start of more protests in other parts of the country. On the night of December 1st, 2024, in Zhengcheng district of Guangzhou, crowds gathered to protest a new toll booth. Angry residents smashed the booth. In the end, officials gave in and canceled the fee. In videos shared online, people were seen breaking the glass at the toll booth, while the crowd cheered on. A large number of police officers arrived to maintain control, but no clashes were reported. Many people online had a clear view of what was happening. They said, the Communist Party has run out of money, now they're squeezing every citizen. They're taxing everything, and parking lots are just another way to take money from everyday people. Of course, the party won't give up that chance. Others added, if we want to protect our rights, we have to fight for them. Begging won't work. In recent years, these village tolls have sparked serious controversy. On paper, it's illegal. China's highway law, Article 9, clearly states, no individual or organization may set up checkpoints, collect tolls or fines, or stop vehicles on public roads. But despite this, these village tolls continue to appear. It's not just Dongguan. Shanghai, Hangzhou, and other cities have the same problem. In December 2024, a village in Shanghai began charging tolls despite tenants already paying rent. Online users commented that hundreds of roadside checkpoints have popped up around rural Shanghai. Some even joked this ridiculous land is what they now call new productive forces. A woman named Miss Zhang rented a house and courtyard in the Yangyong Village, Transha Town in Pudong District, Shanghai. She told the media that she paid $2,000 a month, $1,800 for the house, and $200 for the courtyard. So for parking, she was already paying 2,400 yuan a year. But the village committee still demanded another 1,500 yuan per year, claiming it was for using the village's collective road. On the night of December 1st, 2024, another major protest broke out in Xintang Village in Guangzhou. Large crowds came out against the village tolls, and police were sent in to suppress the protest. Even in Hangzhou, Zhejiang province, village toll stations have appeared. One TikTok user reported that in Xiajiaobu village, barriers were placed every 50 to 300 meters, one after another, right in the middle of narrow rural roads already crowded with cars. The person said, it's like they've gone mad for money. They're setting up tolls at every corner. One intersection even had 3 barriers, and out of all of them, only one had a small reflective light. The same user questioned, the roads are already jammed, now they've added these obstacles. When trucks pass through, the toll booths make it worse. Cars behind get stuck in long queues. There are no warning signs or reflectors. At night, with headlights, these barriers almost disappear. Just driving through briefly, I saw 15 toll booths. The whole village probably has 30. There are reports from Ningbo, Zhejiang as well. On May 26th, someone posted that in Yangyong Village, a toll barrier was set up in the middle of a dirt road in the fields, only about 2 meters wide. A large sign next to it clearly stated that this was a designated paid parking area. A staff member from the village committee explained that the toll barrier was set up at a small dirt road leading to the neighboring village. Locals familiar with the area were using it to avoid paying fees, so they had to install a gate there. They claimed that village residents didn't need to pay, only vehicles temporarily entering or exiting would be charged. Many people believe this kind of village toll system reflects deeper financial troubles in China. After 3 years of strict lockdown measures and rising local government debt, the country's economy has suffered even more due to the ongoing China-US trade war. Now, local governments are scrambling for money, what people call breaking the pot and selling the iron, and these random fees and fines are drawing public anger. According to newly released official figures from the Chinese government, China's total tax revenue in 2024 was 17.5 trillion yuan, a 3.4% drop from the previous year, but non-tax revenue grew sharply to 4.5 trillion yuan, a 25.4% increase. The government claimed this jump in non-tax revenue came from central departments turning over special profits and local governments reviving unused assets. But nearly 24 percentage points of that increase came from those one-time measures. Within the non-tax revenue, fines and confiscations alone rose by 14.8%. China's use of fines and confiscated income has long been criticized. In some regions, people have received outrageous penalties. In one case, an elderly man earned just 14 yuan from selling substandard celery, but was fined a total of 100,000 yuan by the market authorities. Chinese-American economist Li Hengqing told overseas media that the central government is pushing responsibility for non-tax revenue down to local governments. In other words, it's like saying, "You're on your own now, do whatever you have to do." That means anyone who brings in money is seen as doing a good job. In that environment, the easiest target is the public. Ordinary people have no power and no way to fight back. They're left to be taken advantage of. Throughout history, when governments run out of money, random fines become the norm. American economist Davy J. Wong explained that local governments are running out of money because they can no longer rely on land sales. Their ability to generate income is weak, so fines are the fastest way to get cash, and it can be done instantly. But it also encourages corruption and rent-seeking behavior. Over the past 10 years, with the rise of the state, many bureaucrats now feel that they can punish private businesses however they like. When tax revenue drops, the government starts relying more on expanding tax categories and collecting fines. Before 2019, things weren't like this. At that time, about 11 provinces and municipalities could balance their budgets or even had surpluses. But after the pandemic, the overall financial situation became bleak. Using tactics like fines and confiscations, what some people call draining the pond to catch the fish, only leads to a vicious cycle of economic decline. A 2024 article revealed that 40% of China's huge government spending goes to supporting 80 million civil servants, who make up 5.7% of the population. With finances under pressure, the government has even struggled to pay its own people. To stay afloat, it has started selling state-owned assets and using other measures like borrowing, refusing to pay debts, issuing fines, and even targeting companies far from home. Back in 2017, former economics professor Yang Zhaosheng of Guizhou University had already exposed this in overseas articles. According to his research, taxes and profits from state-owned enterprises were being used to support around 20 million full-time party staff and workers in affiliated organizations. The social cost of this, he estimated, was about 20 trillion yuan a year. He warned that if this doesn't change, society will eventually collapse.